Good morning, everyone. Well, welcome. If I can have your attention, please. We are going to begin shortly. Thank you for joining us today. We are so grateful to have community members, partners, educators, and supporters here with us. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today for the launch of this project very near to us and for being part of this important conversation about youth justice, education, and community empowerment. It is truly wonderful to see community members, educators, partners, and supporters gathered together. My name is Shivani Patel, and I'm the project assistant at Revital Reintegration Services. Before we begin, I'd like to invite Crystal to begin our launch event with the land acknowledgement.
Good morning, everyone. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island, First Nation, signatories to the Williams Treaties. We also recognize that the enduring presence and stewardship of other Indigenous nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the Huron-Wendat peoples. We honor their ongoing connection to this island, water, and community. We also honor the ancestors of African descent whose forced and voluntary migrants shaped this land. We recognize the resilience, resistance, and contributions of Black communities in Durham region and across Canada, and we commit to advancing justice, dignity, and the collective liberation and their legacy.
Thank you, Crystal. Before we begin, I'd like to share a brief overview of Revital Reintegration Services and the work we do here. It is a Black-led organization launched in 2021 focused on promoting community safety and well-being through an Afro-centric lens, delivering wellness programming, justice education, advocacy, peer-led community outreach and resource development, empowering Durham youth and communities to achieve better wellness outcomes, stronger connections with greater confidence in engaging with justice systems. And now we're going to talk a little bit about LawLantis. That is one of our key initiatives at Revital, which all of you will get to play today. It is an interactive learning experience designed to help youth better understand the justice system, their rights, and how to advocate for themselves through informed research. In terms of some housekeeping, so in terms of photography and videography, that will be taking place today. By remaining in the room, you may appear in photos or videos that may use for program promotion. If you do not wish to appear in photos, please speak to a staff member for clarity. They're all in LawLantis t-shirts. In terms of the silent auction, we have a silent auction running throughout the event, which is over here. Please take a moment to visit the fundraising table to also see the items available and place your bids with Trey. Trey, if you can raise your hand. And bids for both prizes start at $50, and bids can be increased by $5 increments, and the highest bidder will win. In terms of the fundraiser, we also have a fundraiser today where your donations will allow us to continue doing the work we do for the community. We have t-shirts and comics available, and the LawLantis t-shirts are $25, and the comic books are free, and you can get them at the front table when you buy the entrance. And we also have some community activities today, so there will be some interactive spaces around the room today, over here. We encourage for all of you to try the LawLantis game booth and test the game out for yourself. Participate in the community justice activity, which is over there, and connect with the members of our team and community. In terms of a sensitive discussion, some of today's conversations may include topics related to experiences with the justice system. We recognize that these discussions can bring up a range of feelings or reactions. Please take care of yourself in whatever way feels right for you. You're welcome to step out, take a break, or return when you're ready at any point during the program. It is now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker for the day. A resident of Ajax with his wife and son, Sterling Lee is a graduate of Wilfrid Laurier University, where he majored in English, literature, and political science. After 12 years with the technology sector, working with the likes of Rogers Communications and Microsoft, Sterling served as a senior advisor and stakeholder relations manager for the Honorable Mark Holland, where he was able to connect with Ajax residents and understand the needs of the community. Throughout his time on council, Sterling has had the pleasure of sitting on the Ajax Library Board, the Business Advisory Council of Durham, and the Anti-Racism Task Force of Durham and Ajax. On June 2021, Sterling became the town of Ajax's first racialized deputy mayor. In his free time, Sterling enjoys watching movies and winning trivia nights at bars and restaurants throughout the region. Please join me in welcoming Deputy Mayor Sterling Lee for his opening remarks.
Good morning, everybody. First thing I know, I have to update that bio and make it shorter, so I apologize if you all having to listen to that. My name is Sterling Lee. I'm the Deputy Mayor for the town of Ajax. Joining me from the town, we have Jasmyne Bell. She's the coordinator for our DEI. And we have Mina Lufty. She's part of our business development team. I also want to acknowledge Jasmyne Julien, founder and CEO of Revitalized Reintegration Services. What Revitalized has created with LawLantis is something truly special. For many of us, the justice system, it's a foreign language. It can be complicated, intimidating, and incredibly difficult to navigate. For far too long, many young people, particularly Black and Indigenous youth, who are disproportionately stopped, questioned, and pulled into the system, not knowing your rights is not just confusing, it can be dangerous. I have spoken openly and consistently about discrimination within our legal system, and frankly, within many of the systems that shape people's lives. When a young person does not know their rights, what they do not know, what they can say, what they can ask, or who they can call, the gap does not stay small. It grows. It shapes outcomes, it shapes futures, and it's something we must work together to change. Legal literacy is not a luxury. It's an essential tool that helps young people move through the world with confidence, awareness, and a stronger sense of agency. When we invest in tools like LawLantis, tools that are culturally affirming, accessible, and built with youth, rather than simply for them, we're investing in prevention. We're strengthening resilience and supporting young people before challenges escalate. To the young people here today, we appreciate you navigating our winters. Please know that you are valued, your voices matter, and your future matters. This initiative is here to support you in stepping into your power with knowledge and confidence. Congratulations to the entire Revitaled team on the meaningful and impactful work. The town of Ajax is proud to support initiatives that help build a safer, more informed, and more inclusive community for everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you for those remarks and for your support, Deputy Mayor. Just a quick reference to the silent auction. We do have a signed Raptors jersey that is part of the silent auction today, as well as a gift basket. If you are interested, those are all over here. Now I'd like to invite our next speaker. Aldeli, Alban, Reyna is the Director of Grants and Community Initiatives at Law Foundation. Born and raised in Montreal to Afro-Peruvian parents, Aldeli is a Black artist with a natural talent for using language to bring stories to life, coupled with an ability to transform her lived experiences using multilingual narratives. She holds an honors bachelor's degree in women, gender studies, Spanish, and Italian from the University of Toronto, and a master's in public policy, administration, and law from York University. Aldeli has extensive experience working in multiple sectors, including nonprofit, philanthropy, and corporate. She worked nationally for almost a decade in advocacy and public policy. Please join me in welcoming Aldeli, Alban, Reyna.
Good morning, everyone. We can hear that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, that's better. Okay, so before I start, I know there was a land acknowledgement and everything, but I think for me it's also important to kind of situate myself where I am. So as a Black person born and raised in what we now call Canada from Afro-Peruvian parents, I think it's really important to speak to the nuances of settlerhood, colonization, and our relationship to the land and its carers. So for this reason, I always gravitate to a passage from Blackness Between Us Collective, and it goes like this. The land was stolen from Indigenous peoples, and enslaved Africans were brought en masse to build these cities. This is occupied Indigenous territories of many nations, and these cities are built with stolen African labor and resources. One cannot be remembered without the other. We invite you into a tradition with us of acknowledging and remembering whose territory you are on, wherever you are in the Americas, from the north to the Caribbean and to the south. And also remembering and acknowledging that it was built with stolen African and Black labor and resources as well. Okay, so my name is Aldeli, Alban, Reyna. As was said, I'm the Director of Grants and Community Initiatives at Law. I'm here with my colleague Amanda, who is the Director of Indigenous Programs. And we're really happy to be here at the Revitaled LawLantis Launch. And we wanted to share a little bit more about who we are as funders, but also why we fund organizations like Revitaled. So Laidlaw Foundation, we're a private foundation. We've been around for 76 years. And as a youth funder, our goal is really to resource movements that are grassroots groups, nonprofits, and doing collective organizing. So our current strategic plan, we focus on 4 issue areas, so child welfare, education, environmental racism, and the criminal system. And we know both from anecdotes, but also from research, that Black and Indigenous youth are most impacted by these systems. So throughout our history, Laidlaw has made the shift to prioritize investing in Black and Indigenous youth-led work. So we created a granting system specifically for Indigenous youth a few years ago that my colleague Amanda is leading, which is called the Indigenous Youth and Communities Futures Fund. And as of May 2026, we will be launching a brand new Black Youth Fund. So keep an eye out on that. So if you're excited, thank you. But yeah, follow us on socials. Youth for us is 35 and under. So many people in the room can qualify under that. So you're looking at like mid-May for a launch for the grant. And it's youth-led, so we want to make sure that young people are the ones doing the work and not being told by adults that this is what we want you guys to do. So stay tuned. Follow us on socials. I think that's where you can usually see a lot of our work. But back to the important event at hand. Supporting projects like LawLantis in partnership with the Law Foundation of Ontario really solidifies the importance of hearing directly from young people about their own experiences, concerns, and joys. Organizations like Revitaled understand the importance of youth-led initiatives that empower young people to use their voice, especially for Black youth, to access justice and learn more about rights. It's also super exciting to see an organization like Revital use gaming and like a choosing your own adventure RPG style for the project, because it doesn't just encourage young people to participate and get to know more about their rights, but it also shows that gaming is a great learning experience and isn't a waste of time like we're always told. So a big thank you once again to Jasmyne and the team. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to give you guys a chance to kind of experience a little bit of LawLantis and what it's all about. I'd like to invite Crystal back onto the stage with me, and today we're going to be sharing a brief look at LawLantis and inviting you to participate in a quick interactive trivia game using Mentimeter. So please make sure you have your phones ready. And then there will be prizes, so we encourage all of you to participate in the game today.
Thank you, Shivani. So we're going to speak a little bit about youth crime because that's exactly what LawLantis is all about. Okay, so prior to COVID-19, youth crime had actually been on a downward trend. Prior to the increases that happened in both 2022 and 2023, the youth crime rate had generally been trending down for almost 2 decades. Youth crime increased in all provinces and territories across Canada with the exception of the Northwest Territories. One important thing to understand when we talk about youth justice is that many youth interacting with the system face challenges that go beyond just behavior. For example, research shows that 85% of juveniles who interact with the court system are functionally low literate. This means many youth involved in the justice system struggle with basic reading and comprehension skills, which can affect their education opportunities and understanding of the legal processes. Because of this, legal education plays a really important role in preventing youth from entering the justice system in the first place. Studies from Public Safety Canada show that education-based prevention initiatives can significantly reduce youth offending. When researchers from Public Safety Canada evaluated youth prevention programs, the results were really encouraging. Arrest rates dropped by about 65% among high-risk youth who participated in the intervention programs, in addition to 73% of youth who had previously offended and committed fewer crimes after participating. And 74% of at-risk youth who had not offended did not go on to be arrested at all. These numbers showcase that early education and awareness can make a huge impact on youth behavior. That's where LawLantis comes in. Geared toward youth, LawLantis is designed to help players better understand justice processes and the impact that high-risk behavior can have on individuals and communities. By making learning about the justice system interactive and engaging, the goal is to increase awareness and encourage more informed decision-making among young people.
So, what is LawLantis? LawLantis is an online youth justice game designed to make learning about the law simple, engaging, and accessible. It helps young people understand their rights while also building skills like decision-making and self-advocacy. It was created through culturally responsive training, research, and over 50 hours of conversations with youth, lawyers, justice professionals, and their families. So it reflects real experiences and real challenges that youth face today. Because the reality is, many youth in Canada don't fully understand their rights, and LawLantis is about changing that by giving youth the knowledge and confidence to navigate the justice system.
So why does LawLantis matter? An important factor to consider when discussing youth justice is that not all young people experience justice system in the same way. Although the Youth Criminal Justice Act applies to youth 12 to 17 years of age, many Black youth grow up in neighborhoods with a heavier police presence, which often leads to increased interactions with law enforcement. And Black youth often face systemic barriers while dealing with the justice system. This can sometimes result in discriminatory practices such as stop and search activities. These interactions can shape how youth experience the justice system even before entering a courtroom. Research from the Department of Justice also shows that disparities can continue within the court process itself. Black youth are more likely to receive longer sentences, stricter probation conditions, and fewer extrajudicial measure options, which allow youth to avoid court in comparison to non-Black counterparts. They are also less likely to be referred to mental health programs or social services that are often more denied than bail. Because of these realities, it becomes even more important to find ways to educate youth about the justice system and empower them with knowledge. One effective approach is through gamification in education. Research shows that incorporating game elements into learning can significantly increase student learning, and studies suggest that gamified learning can improve skills and development to help retain information more effectively. By combining education with interactive gameplay, tools like LawLantis can make complex topics like the justice system easier to understand while keeping youth actively engaged.
So why does legal literacy matter? Legal literacy is important because it helps people understand their rights and responsibilities under the law. When individuals know their rights, they are better able to protect themselves in situations like interactions with police, workplace issues, or disputes with others. Many youth are unaware of their legal terminology and literacy, and sometimes neither are their parents. LawLantis is designed to help both youth and parents navigate the justice system. Not many Canadians really know what goes into sentencing and court processes. For example, when referring to counsel in legal terms, it means lawyer and not support counsel. Legal literacy supports better decision-making. When people understand how laws work, they can think more carefully about the consequences of their actions. This can apply to situations like signing contracts, dealing with legal documents, or handling conflicts. Having knowledge of the law helps individuals make choices that reduce risks and protect their interests. Another reason legal literacy matters is that it improves access to justice. Many people find legal systems confusing or intimidating, and when individuals understand basic legal processes and know where to find reliable resources, they are more likely to seek help, ask questions, and navigate the system more effectively. Legal literacy can also prevent legal problems before they can even happen. When people understand laws and legal boundaries, they are less likely to unintentionally break rules or become involved in disputes. This knowledge can help individuals avoid mistakes that could lead to charges or other legal consequences. Finally, legal literacy helps promote accountability. When people understand how laws and rights work, they're better able to hold themselves and others and institutions accountable. An informed public strengthens fairness, transparency, and trust in the legal system. Now about LawLantis. So the story follows Sheamus, a 15-year-old Afro-Indigenous teen. After spending time in the child welfare system, he now lives with his new guardian, Mona, and is trying to adjust to his new life. When a dare from his friends leads to a shoplifting charge, Sheamus suddenly has to deal with a justice system that can be confusing and difficult to understand. The choices he makes can now have a big impact on his future. In this game, players step into Sheamus' shoes and make decisions, and he navigates friendships, identity, and the legal system while trying to keep the trust he has built with Mona. Players are rewarded for making positive and responsible choices.
Okay. So some of the key takeaways from the game. By the end of the game, players will learn about their rights, especially when interacting with police or the justice system. They will understand what they can expect in those situations and learn that young people have special protections under youth laws. The goal is to help players feel more confident and know what their rights are in real life. Players will also learn how youth court works. The game introduces ideas from the Youth Criminal Justice Act and shows that when young people get into trouble, there are sometimes different options. For example, there can be programs like diversion or restorative justice, which focus on learning from mistakes outside of the regular court process. Another takeaway is seeing the bigger picture. The game helps players understand that people don't always experience the justice system in the same way. Things like community opportunities and life experience can impact how someone interacts with the system. This encourages players to think about fairness and equality. The game also helps players connect the dots. It shows that the justice system is connected to other parts of life like school, community programs, and social services. These supports can help young people make better choices. And 6 at 11 a.m., join Revital Reintegration Services for an interactive session where youth explore the justice system through gameplay. During our Play With Us event, Revital youth volunteers and staff will play the game while the audience votes on decisions and helps guide the story in real time. Throughout the session, staff will pause the game to explain what's happening and connect gameplay to youth rights, justice processes, and decision-making and community-based approaches to justice. This is a youth-led, interactive event where young people, educators, and community members can learn about youth justice together. It will be streamed, hosted on StreamYard, and broadcasted across all Revital social media platforms. Everyone that registers will
ready? Can we start, or should I give you guys a few more? Yeah, are we all signed up? Ready to go? Okay, amazing. What is the name of the main character in LawLantis?
Yes, everyone said Sheamus. Thank you.
Next question. For those that just got here, we're playing a game where you can win a prize. So
Which option is not a reason legal literacy is important? Not an option.
Do you want to read them out?
It helps people understand their rights and responsibilities. It guarantees that someone will never get in trouble with the law. It helps people make more informed decisions, and it helps people advocate for themselves and others.
job.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. What is the name of Sheamus' guardian? Is it Mona, Marissa, Marlene, or Monica? It is Mona. True or false, there are ways for you to resolve criminal charges without going to court. Lisa, Breanna, and Croc. Lisa, Jordan, and Croc. Sorry. And many more. Additionally, Breanna's advocacy work has been on platforms such as the Toronto Star, City News, and TVO. Through her efforts in the field of social work, Breanna is dedicated to supporting individuals in owning, writing, and rewriting their stories. She is determined to remind all that come in contact with her that their stories matter and their voices deserve to be heard. Please join me in welcoming Breanna Phillip.
Good morning. I'm coming in with a little bit of a limp. Story time. I fell down the stairs on the GO train yesterday. Most embarrassing things ever. But I'm good, because I'm here. Good morning. Okay, so thank you for that introduction. Whenever I speak, I'm always like, it's so weird hearing somebody speak about you. It's very uncomfortable and awkward. But we're here. And so I know I was introduced as all those things, and you guys are expecting some sort of speech. But it's a trick. We are in a game, okay? I am going to be your guide or narrator. You are going to be the players. And this room is the game, okay? So there's gonna be different challenges. I'm gonna ask you to do different things. And I don't have many rules as a speaker or in this case, narrator, but I just beg you to participate. Okay? All right, so put your hand up if you can hear me. Awesome, keep your hand up. And if you've ever felt like rules were not explained to you, but you were expected to follow them, keep your hands up. If you ever felt judged before anyone took the time to hear your story, put your hand up. Look around the room. Okay. That was your first move in the game. You can put your hands down, they're probably tired. That was your first move in the game. The reality is that some people move through the world with instructions, with guidance, with explanations, and others have to just figure it out along the way, even though the game is already happening, okay? Some people get a map, some people get warnings, and some people get silence, okay? So we will be moving through the levels together. There will be choices, consequences, obstacles, power-ups, and there will be damage, and there will be healing. So welcome to the game. Let's go to level 1. Next slide, please. So every game has rules. Not everyone is taught the rules, and not everyone gets the same game outcome. So every rule decides who gets to move forward and who gets stuck. Okay, so this is level 1, the system. Now I want you to imagine this. You're walking home with your friends You're laughing, you're loud, you're just being you. A police car pulls up, an officer gets out, and he asks, "What are you doing?" Now the game pauses, and you have options. Next slide. Okay, so you have the choice to either stay quiet, explain everything, or ask questions. Okay, so who in the room would stay quiet? Okay. Look around, ask for answering. Okay. Who in the room would try to explain everything? Okay. And who in the room would ask questions? Okay. So here's what the game doesn't tell you. Not every player gets the same result for the same move. Some were taught what to say, sorry. Some were warned not to say anything, and some were never given any instructions. But regardless of that, the game does not stop. And depending on the experiences of each person and what they were told or not told, that depends on what option they put their hand up for, right? And that is why learning matters. That's why LawLantis is amazing. And that's why preparation matters. That's why conversations matter, because learning the rules and the possible moves should not only happen after something terrible takes place. Okay? Ready for level 2? Let's go. Go ahead, you can go to the next slide. Okay? So level 2 is about starting points. So we know that not everyone starts at the same starting line. Some players have help, some players have protection, some players figure it out alone. Okay? So I'm gonna ask you all to stand. Told you we're gonna be moving, we're gonna be playing. So this level is about starting points, okay? So, next slide, please. I'm gonna read some statements, and if they apply to you, I just want you to take a step forward. Take a tiny step, because you're gonna end up on the stage with me if you don't. Okay, so if you have ever had someone explain your rights to you, take a step forward. If you feel safe asking adults for help, take a step forward. If you understand how the legal system works, take a step forward. And if you have someone that you could call if you were in trouble, take a step forward. Okay. How many people took 4 steps forward? Okay. I just want us to look around. How many people took 3 steps forward? Okay. Everybody can put their hand down. How many people took 2 steps forward? How many people took 1 step forward? And how many people didn't take any steps? Okay, so I know we're in a weird setup, that's why I asked us to do that, but that should depict to you that not everybody starts at the same point. Some people start with all 4 of these available to them, some start with 3, some start with 2, some start with 1, and some start with 0. And depending on where we start, it impacts how or if we finish. You can sit. Next slide, please. Okay. So every time that you took a step forward, it represented a power move. Okay? And power moves represent the advantages that we carry. So for each of those things that you were able to take a step forward for, that is a power move that you have as you navigate the system. For each of those things that you were not able to take a step forward for, that depicts a power that you don't have as you're moving through the system. Now, power can do 2 things. It can either uphold inequity, okay, so when we know the rules and the secret plays, but we keep them to ourselves, or it can interrupt inequality, and that's what it looks like when we have the advantages and we share them. Right? So for those of us who were able to put our hands, take a step forward for all 4, when you are sharing the information, sharing the resources you have, or become a resource for someone else, that is interrupting inequality. But when we hold that information onto ourselves, that means we are upholding inequality. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, sometimes the game glitches. And many times, knowing the rules and making the right choices does not always mean a win, okay? So, for Black youth, for Indigenous youth, for youth of color, and for other intersections of identity, the reality is, and when we talk about the system, we have to say this, that the reality is knowing the rules doesn't always mean that we win. It doesn't always mean that if we make the right decision, then we get the results that is expected. Because the reality is that systems were created for and with inequality. Okay, so we cannot be remiss to not acknowledge that. However, though the rules are not always applied the same, the knowledge does help. Okay, community helps and support helps, but it doesn't always mean fairness. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so we survive by community. Okay, so that could be a coach, a parent, a teacher, a neighbor, an auntie, an uncle, a cousin, a friend maybe who has gone through something that you haven't, sharing that knowledge. That is how we survive, right? Most of the times when we're navigating systems, we can read the textbooks, we can read, all of the policies and all of that, but usually what saves us and what allows us to survive the game is that auntie whispering in our ear, or that uncle whispering in our ear, or that mentor whispering in our ear and saying things like, this is how this works. Be careful. I've been through this before. If anything happens, call me. That is usually how we survive systems, okay? Through knowledge, through protection, and through community. Next slide, please. All right, welcome to level 3, decision points. So, every opportunity, every time we come up to a challenge, we have the opportunity to make a decision. We have one moment, one choice, and one outcome. Okay, so I have another scenario. You're at school. If you're past school age, just imagine you're little again. You're at school and someone disrespects you in front of everyone. People are watching, phones are out, your heart is beating really fast, you feel angry, you feel embarrassed, you feel like you have to do something. Now the game speeds up and you don't have time to think, but you have to make a decision. Next slide, please. Okay? What do you do? Not what should you do, but what would you do? Okay? If you were a fighter, it's a safe space. If you would fight, put your hand up. Because how you gonna disrespect me like that? If you would walk away. Wow, so godly. If you would call someone. If you would post it on social media. Thank you for your honesty, appreciate that. If you would then pull your phone out and report it too. Okay. If you would freeze up. Yeah, I'm likely a freezer, okay? So, each of us, as we saw, have a different response to that, but we have a choice to make. Usually when we're in impulse mode, you don't always make the best decisions, but regardless of whether we're in impulse mode or not, the decision leads to something. Next slide, please. Okay, and that's where we talk about damage and healing. Okay? Oh, sorry, I moved too quickly. Yes, sorry. So every choice leads to something, and that something could be, sorry, if we go back one slide. That damage could look like a suspension. It could look like a charge, catching a charge. It could look like nothing really happening. It could look like going viral on Instagram now that we're in a social media era. Some people, entire high school career shifted because something got out on social media. right? And so it's very important for us to recognize that as we're making choices, the choices that we make lead us to somewhere. And oftentimes when we're in the moment of making those choices, we're not thinking about the somewhere that choice is going to lead us to, okay? And that's why, another reason why LawLantis is so amazing, because LawLantis is a game where you have the opportunity to try out the choices in a demo, right? And so that when you do come to the point where you need to make that decision, you'll remember what the consequence was when you did it in the game, hopefully. Okay, next slide. All right, level 4, how you guys feeling? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so now we talk about damage and healing. So welcome to level 4. Every game has damage, so let's talk about it. This is another interactive part where you're just gonna yell it out. You don't need to raise your hand. What are some things that cause damage societally? Violence? Words? Expectations. Peer pressure. Assumptions, discrimination. Trauma. Parental pressure. Yeah. Tragedy, absolutely. So grief. I'm gonna go grief and tragedy, yeah. Loss, being misunderstood. And what are some things that cause healing? Whoa. Community? Support? Therapy. I like that answer. So therapist. Preventative opposed to reactive. Thank you, yeah. Safety, education, like LawLantis. Friends, absolutely. Resources. Faith. Thank you, yeah. Hugs. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Safety. Yeah, that's a good umbrella for everything under a lot of safety. Yeah. So as much as there are things that cause damage, I think it's also very important for us to remember that there is healing as well. I think a lot of times when we think about law and moving through systems, we speak about often and we focus a lot on the damage, which is completely understandable considering the history of the damage. I think that when we don't think about the healing that is existent amidst the chaos, we lose hope, right? So I think it's very important that as much as we rally against the damage, we also remember that healing is available. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the goal of the game is not to never get hit, okay? But it is that if you do get hit, that you can recover. Okay? And what recovery looks like all of the things that you mentioned about healing. It looks like community, it looks like advocacy, it looks like support, it looks like hugs. Okay? So when we know the rules, and family knows the rules, and community knows the rules, we don't just survive the game, we have the possibility of changing it. Right? And we've seen that happen. If we look back in history, we've seen rallies and we've seen new policies and policies being removed. That is changing the system. And I know when we look at it as a whole, it can feel like we're so far, not much has been done, but truly steps have been taken. And if we don't acknowledge that, that means that we're not acknowledging the work that so many people that came before us did. There's still a long way to go, but a lot has also been done. Next slide. All right, level 5, power-ups. So I want to hear from you, along with these, but other ideas as well. What do you believe young people need as they navigate the game of life? What power-ups do young people need? Guidance. Knowledge. Love, yeah. We didn't mention that when we were talking about healing. Yeah, love. Affirmation. And validation. Mm-hmm.
They need to be heard.
To be heard. Somebody said reassurance. To be heard. Positive spaces. What does that mean? Respect, yeah. Safety, yeah. Okay. So along with what you mentioned, some of them already here, but yeah, knowledge, rights, to know their rights, community, confidence, support, voice. And when players know the rules, they have the opportunity for more choices. When families know the rules, they have the opportunity to offer more protection. And when communities know the rules, they have the opportunity to create change. Next slide. And this is exactly why LawLantis matters, because we learn the rules before the moment happens. We practice our choices before real life tests us. And we share knowledge so that nobody has to play the game alone. Okay? So I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to think about a time when you didn't know the rules, but you were expected to play the game, whatever that game may be. Think about a moment when you had to make one decision that could have changed everything. And I want you to think about someone younger than you, or maybe less experienced, who may be standing in that very moment that you were once standing in right now. Next slide, please. Open your eyes. So the game that we are speaking about is real. It's school, it's the law, it's our choices, it's the systems, and we all have to move through them, right? And as was mentioned, we have to share the knowledge. And so as I wrap up, I want to encourage you to share the map, share the knowledge, and share the power. Do not be someone who encourages inequity. What you know, oftentimes we think that what we know, everybody knows, right? It's like everybody knows this. There are things that you know that people don't know, and you sharing it could change the trajectory of their life. Nothing that you know is too simple to share with someone else. And if they already know, nobody gets hurt. So I'm gonna leave you with the challenge. Whatever you learn today, whatever you continue to learn as you navigate life, take every possible opportunity to share it with someone else so that they know that they don't have to play the game alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Breanna. Okay, now we are going to be transitioning into lunch. Lunch is here. I will be calling table by table as we do as lunch is being served. During this time, we hope that you guys test out the game that's over here, look at our silent auction, look at our fundraiser, and look at the community board as well. And look and go speak to community safety and well-being. That's right behind over there. We hope that you're enjoying this event, and we hope to see you guys back after lunch. And I'll be calling tables slowly for lunch.
All right, give thanks, give thanks. How's everyone feeling today? You feeling good? If you're feeling good, can I hear you say yeah, yeah? Yeah, yeah. That's lovely. I guess lunch was good. If lunch was good, let me hear you say yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I want to shout out to the organizers of LawLantis, as well as the Revital team who invited me to be here today. I've had the pleasure of working with them, I think, for the last almost 3 years. They've been doing amazing things in the community. Anyone had a chance to play the game yet? Anyone had a chance to play the game? Okay, we have a few people. Make sure you go over there and test it out. I had a chance to do so, and it kind of helped me to decide what poems I was going to share with you all today, because just playing as Sheamus, the main character in the game, or Shay as they call him, really just reminded me of when I was a young person and going through a lot of those challenges, peer pressure, and wanting to fit in. Especially one of the things that really stuck out to me is he goes into this room and there's this big painting that says, "You belong here." And I think that one of the things I realized growing up is that when I didn't feel like I didn't belong, then I did things that were basically to the contrary of any collaboration. And when I started to feel like there was a place for me, I then was able to contribute positively. And the name of my book is called Lyon, and it's really an ode to the way that sometimes you can be misrepresented and misunderstood. Growing up, and I told the MC, so please just give it up for the MC right now before I let you know what I told her. So I had let her know that it doesn't matter how you say my name. At one time in my life, it mattered a lot to me. And that is because my name is de Lyon. It's a French name. It's been a name that I would not say gifted to my family, but it's the name that my family now holds due to colonization. So there's a lot of history that I have no idea where this name really came from. And you can imagine growing up having people mispronounce that. Me not being French, I can't really pronounce my own last name and asking people to call me by my name, right? And not call me out of it. So that was a huge thing that just made me feel like everywhere I went, I did not belong. People would call me the lion, and then to get at me, they would say that, oh, you're a lion because your hair is big, your skin is dark, you're wild, you're unruly. None of the things that I now believe that a lion is, which is strong, courageous, and uses their pride, right, to be able to bring people together. They stick together and they are able to achieve great things. Lions are known as the king of the jungle. They're known as, even though lions don't live in jungles, you all should look that up. They don't live in jungles, but that being said, they're known as the top of the food chain. And now that I've fully embraced both of my names, I have accepted that if someone calls me DeLion, that's a great thing. I turned it into an acronym. For me, that means lift yourself over negativity. If you're ready to do that with me today, can I hear you say, yeah, yeah? Yeah. Nah. Who's ready to lift themselves over negativity? Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's right. So I have 3 poems for y'all today, and I call myself an affirmational speaker and a spoken word music artist because I take affirmations and I turn them into songs. Anybody, if I ever have an issue with them, negativity doesn't touch me anymore because I learned how to transmute it into something very powerful. That's what I hope to leave for y'all today. My first poem really talks about my life story a little bit, and it's called Epiphany, because one day I had one and I realized who I am. Beef? Nah. Since I went vegan, I only speak when I got a reason. And I know some people are here for a season. They betrayed me. I took that as treason. To sender I return all of their concerns because they no longer govern me. I'm from Saturn and I'm breaking the pattern. It's just mind over matter, and that's how I shattered all their words and mindless chatter. Because there was a time when I would whine and I'm thinking an eye for an eye is the why, and every night I would cry and I would look to the sky and would say, take me away. I don't wanna go, but I don't wanna stay. I said, take me away. I don't wanna go, but I don't wanna stay. Cause growing up, I had it rough. Not many girls that looked like me said that I was too much. Then I had an epiphany. I won't let it get to me. They are not equally fit to be next to me. New phone who this, like, why is you texting me? Now you just vexing me. You better step off. I'll take you to the streets like my name is Sesame. You a big bird and you need to get from me. I'll say this respectfully. Demise ain't my destiny. Greatness is meant for me. And that's why I went right and left all negativity. I once heard, don't argue with fools from a distance, can't tell who's who. Shame on you, you shame me one time. Won't be nice, you shame me twice. And it's no more peace sign if you shame me 3 times. Then I must align with the divine and enjoy the ride. And I'll let karma drive. Cause I'm never too much, know that I am enough. My ancestors are in my blood. Through my veins is all they pain, and all my gains heal all the shame. I was born to reclaim our stolen names. I'm flying just like Mikey, and I'm doing it. I'm Nike. I'm the goddess of victory. In my blood is their history. In my birth is their legacy. The fruit of their labor they'll never eat. I'm Kandaki's grandbaby with that godlike energy. I'm a queen, so's my team. Try to squash us like a bug. We a hive, we've arrived. Can't sweep us under rugs. We outside, you better hide. Time to get you all inside. Are you dumb? Don't underestimate my brilliance. My DNA is spelled resilience. You tried to finish us, you can't diminish us. No, you wish you was us. Just look at the skin that I'm in. It's Nubian film melanin, meant to shine when it's bright, and when devoid of light, I'm filling up their eyes. I take over their minds, and every wrong I will right with every song that I write. Skilled sailors sail the roughest seas, and as far as I can see, outstanding in the scene, got them standing out. They green, just like the grass. We cut it back. We is awake. We see the snakes. Get out the rakes. Do what it takes. Then off with their heads. I said what I said. Bad mind for dead. So off with their heads. I said what I said. To preface what you'll witness is survival of the fittest, evolution of a flower who has come into her power, taking everything she learned, learning new ways to discern who is iron, heart of lion, born in Zion. It took me a while, my energy spent. Finally, I made my way to ascend, and I'm breaking the pattern. I send them to Saturn. Has anyone ever had a moment where they wanted to send their problems somewhere else, or they wanted to go somewhere else, right? But instead of us going anywhere, because I don't know, we didn't figure that out yet quite, but I decided that if I was gonna send my problems anywhere, it would be to Saturn. So can I get y'all's help in, let's break some patterns today. It starts with our mindset, the way that we think about things. We can change that about ourselves, and then we can see new things in our reality. So if you're ready to break the pattern with me, think about a pattern that you're wanting to break, maybe a type of way of thinking, and then I'm gonna give you a chance to say. I'm gonna say, breaking the pattern, and I want y'all to raise your hands. Come on, let's get some energy up and say, send them to Saturn, all right? So breaking the pattern. Send them to Saturn. That's right, breaking the pattern. Send them to Saturn. I'm breaking the pattern. Send them to Saturn. That's it, that's it. Give it up for yourselves, y'all. Give it up, give it up. That was Epiphany. The next poem that I have for you, this one is a little bit shorter, but it also has another part for you, because I love to leave people with language to live by. After I leave this stage, I hope one of the things that I've told you today sticks in your head as an affirmation that you can remind you to lift yourself over negativity. So this one is one that I think a lot of people will know. That one I made up, sending them to Saturn, breaking the pattern. But this one, when life gives you lemons, what do? That's right. I write songs. One of them I named Lemonade, and it's this one. But I'm going to do the poem version for y'all today. I am making lemonade. I am taking bitter situations and replacing them with sweet affirmations. I am no longer putting up with any hesitation. I know I'm good enough. Great is my designation. Learned on the journey, which is the destination, and the price has gone up. I have some stipulations. I am no longer begging. pleading or chasing. You could miss me with the negging, demeaning, and wasting of my time, energy, And so their placement in my mental space, it becomes vacant. No longer blatant, disappears and it erases. When life looking sour, I do not cower. I came from a seed to reclaim my power. When they throw me shade, I make lemonade out of everything they gave. I make lemonade. Pain is my power. It's the fuel that I need to keep me in the tower. I'm the queen of the kingdom and I bloom like a flower. Bittersweet is this proclamation because life can give you lemons, but you decide their limitations. And whether or not this will be a validation of how far you will go in your imagination, how high you will reach is within your delegation. Will they stay lemons or will you manipulate them? See them as they are or as they could be created because we are lemons from seeds with potential for greatness and we're breaking through rock bottom, making it out of dark places, and it's only because it's sour that we know what the sweet taste is. So taking the good with the bad is how we can face it and doing all that we can to try to embrace this. Yes, sir. So take all the shade and make lemonade out of everything they gave. I make lemonade. Now it's your turn. When I say make, y'all say lemonade. Make lemonade. Make lemonade. Make lemonade. That's right, y'all. When life throws you shade, you make lemonade. Please give it up for yourselves on that one right now. Give thanks, give thanks. I just have one more for y'all, and it's actually the very first one that I wrote where I felt like maybe I might be a spoken word music artist. I wasn't sure before. It took me almost more than a decade to make my way to the stage. I tell you all that because you might have something in your mind right now that doesn't leave you alone. It haunts you in your sleep, and that just might be your purpose. You might not be ready to fulfill it. How I did that was by doing exactly what this organization is doing today, just going out, sharing, meeting new people, gaining the confidence to finally get up here one day. And if anybody here is interested in learning more about that, I can definitely connect with you after. They call me the lion, but I'm very friendly. All right, I'm very friendly. All right, so here we go. This one is called Enough. But I'm gonna need everybody's help to do this one because even though this is the one that I know the most, I can't do it without my people, all right? So what I would love y'all to do is put your right hand, if you could raise your right hand in the sky, and I'd like you to put that on the left side of your chest, that's your heart. And I want you to, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes and repeat after me. I am enough in the skin I am in.
I am enough in the skin I am in.
I am enough in the skin I am in.
I am enough in the skin I am in.
Beautiful. Now, can you open your eyes and turn to the person beside you, or maybe even someone at another table and say, you are enough in the skin you are in.
You are enough in the skin you are in.
Beautiful. Turn to someone else and tell them, because they're feeling a little bit lonely. You are enough in the skin you are in. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Right? Let's switch it up. Love that. Now, for the ancestors, the ones who really made it possible for us to be here, I'd love for you to raise your hands in the sky and let's give all the energy to each other and say, we are enough in the skin we are in.
We are enough in the skin we are in.
Beautiful. You're going to hear your part come up in this poem. Join right in when you hear it. The only thing that's keeping you from getting you what you want is the story you keep telling you. If you change everything you say to you, then everything you say and do will change for you. Because the only thing you can change when you can't change where you're at is perspective on what you have. And how you think what's good is bad when sometimes good is just what's familiar. Comfort to a fool like clouds lined with silver, and sometimes the things you think that are bad are really good things that you never had. And what is truly valuable is how you know which way to go, how you know which do's or don'ts, and how you find the will to won't stay within your comfort zone. And be your own detective, inspector of conceptions that misdirect the senses and critical deceptions that you believed were senseless, but you still accepted. And if you accept it, then you can reject it. Your mistakes are only a reflection of who you were, and they are not directions to where you're headed. You can still be everything you want to be and nothing they expected. For too long, you put their feelings about you before your feelings about yourself. And these feelings became thoughts and they dwelled. These feelings, they got caught and they swelled. And these feelings, they flow right over your well. No, you are not well, yes, but you are up the creek without a paddle. And no paddle, now you're up the creek. And then they herded you like cattle because you acted like a sheep. Someone who is strong but acts like they are weak. And now you're following along and you're pretending to be someone who you're not, someone happy. And then you put yourself down to bring others up. You pour into them till you emptied your cup. And now you're so thirsty, deserted by love. Somehow you're still drowning, don't feel like enough. But you are more than a dysregulated nervous system rooted in unhealed trauma. This is how many stay reeling in drama. You thought you was a period, but you're really a comma. And the best is yet to come should really be your mantra. The thing you need to tell yourself is what you tell your daughter, your son or your sister or your mother or your father. This is what I mean when I say let's heal ancestral trauma. Because these scars on the pretty things, I'm putting away the petty things and I'm letting go of anything that keeps me from discovering I am more than everything the world has left to offer. Say it with me. I am enough in the skin I am in. I am enough in the skin I am in. I am enough in the skin I am in, and everything that I want in this life, I can win. I am the master of my mind. The alchemist is I, and I decide to define how I live by my design. And so, the only thing that's keeping you from getting you, what you want, is a story you keep telling you. If you change, everything you say to you, everything you say and do will change for you. Give thanks, Ashe. That's all my time. Thank you again so much. If you want to connect with me, it's IAMELLDELYON. And remember, de Lyon, de Lion, we can still be friends. Thank y'all so much. Back to Shivani.
Thank you so much, Elle, for that powerful performance. Okay, before we close today's program,
Jasmyne Julien is the founder and director of Revital Reintegration Services, a nonprofit focused on enhancing community safety and well-being through Afrocentric lens. With decades of experience in program design and strategy and a BA in criminology from Toronto Metropolitan University, Jasmyne has displayed a relentless commitment to social justice. She has nearly 5 years of experience in government administration, where she applies data, policy analysis, and program development frameworks to combat gendered racism and occupational segregation. An emerging racial justice advocate and sought-after speaker, Jasmyne's efforts have earned recognition, including being named one of Canada's top 100 Black women to watch in 2023 by the CIBWE, an honor recognized by former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. She was also named one of Ontario's community changemakers in 2024 and has had her work featured in the Toronto Star and CBC News. And 3 words to describe Jasmyne is that she's harmonious, purposeful, and consistent.
before Jasmyne begins, I'd like to acknowledge that some reflections may touch on sensitive experiences related to the justice system involvement. Please join me in welcoming Jasmyne.
Thank you so much.
I still don't get used to hearing that bio read out, but it's okay. All right, well, as mentioned, I am Jasmyne Julien, and I'm the founder and CEO of Revital Reintegration Services. And over the past year, I've had the honor of taking on a slightly different role with the team, and that is the role of project manager for the LawLantis project. I had the opportunity to lead the brilliant team responsible for designing and developing the game that I hope you all had a chance to play today. Now, before we begin, I do want to acknowledge the people who made today possible. First of all, thank you to Late Law Foundation and the Law Foundation of Ontario for believing in this vision and investing in it. Your support brought LawLantis to life. And thank you to the hard-working event staff responsible for today's event. Can we give all our volunteers a round of applause? Yes. And I also want to take some special time to recognize our project team. Shivani, Crystal, and Chetty. They spent the last year with me working on designing the game. They poured in so much of their creativity, strategy, and persistence. I do want to recognize and honor them for that. And to our developers. So we have some developers who helped us to design this game. They couldn't be today with us here, but I do want to thank Jacob Bunting, Mohit Patel, and Daniel de la Pera-Servin for working on developing this game. Yes. And there's also tons of other people here. I do want to give a few more shout outs. Do want to pick up a few more people before we move on. Our decorator, Janessa James, want to thank her for her hard work. Sharona's Premium Kitchen, responsible for the yummy lunch that I hope you all had a chance to enjoy. We also had Julian's T-shirts, company responsible for printing all of our shirts today, Murphy Caesar Photography, and also Durham Community Safety and Wellbeing Unit. Can we all give our supporters a round of applause? Yes. So before we jump in, I do want to just share a little bit of my story. So Durham is, or Revital is based here in Durham region, but I wasn't born and raised here in Durham. I was raised in a community in Toronto, close by Little Jamaica. Anybody know where that is? Woo-hoo! Yes. Yeah, so it's a vibrant, close-knit community, known for its culture, its resilience, and some of the best Caribbean food you will find anywhere in the GTA. If you want to dispute me on that, we can talk about that later. But it's a community that shaped who I am. It's where I grew up. It's where I built lifelong friendships. I got my first job and fell in love with a sport called track and field. So I did that for many, many years. But when I was 11, there was a younger student on our team. For today, I'll call him Josh. So Josh, he was incredibly talented. He was running with some of the relay teams that were older than him. He had a ton of potential, was funny and energetic. And I always remember him for that. But one night I was watching the news with my family, and there was a breaking story that appeared. There had been a stabbing between two youths at a local middle school down the street from where I lived. And of course, everybody heard about that story, so the next day you go to the playground, everybody's talking about it, who did it, who could it have been. But not long after that, our track coach confirmed Josh would not be returning because he was the one responsible for that incident. What I learned later is that he had a difficult life, challenges at home, trouble at school, and an anger that I didn't understand at that time. I later learned that he had become close with older gang-affiliated individuals in the community, and that incident was tied to a broader conflict that had been impacting communities like Little Jamaica for years. And it's moments like this that drew me to criminology and eventually to founding Revital, because what I didn't understand then, and what I find that still today so many of us don't understand, is how deeply our knowledge of our rights, our choices, and our place in our communities can shape the direction of our lives. As I prepared for today, I found myself asking, what if? But as I heard so many comments and so many things spoken from each and every one of you today, it reminded me that it's important to turn our conversation from what if to what now. Now that we have tools like LawLantis in our hands, tools designed us to help young people, communities, future leaders to understand the justice system and their rights, what will we do with them now? Because when young people understand their rights, They're not only less vulnerable to harm, they're also more equipped to advocate for themselves, participate in their communities, make positive decisions, and shape the systems that shape them. Legal literacy is not just about protection, it's about power. And that power fuels civic engagement, builds confidence, strengthens community safety, and lays the foundation for lasting change. So when youth understand how systems work, they move from being subject of those systems to becoming the people who can influence and improve them. And that's where real change begins, not by speaking for young people, but by equipping them to make positive and informed decisions. So today I want to challenge us all to adopt what I call a honeybee mindset. As bees move towards from flower to flower, in case you didn't know, they collect pollen. And some of that pollen sticks to their feet. And without even trying, they transfer that pollen everywhere that they go, strengthening the flowers that they touch. And so that's what I want to encourage all of us to do today. Take what you've learned about justice, empowerment, and legal literacy back to your schools, your family, your workplaces, your communities, and let these ideas stick with you. Let them move through you and let them use you to leave every space stronger than how you found it. And we do that by creating spaces where young people feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel supported. And by building these spaces with youth, not just for them. Because when we exclude youth from building the systems meant to support them, even with these good intentions, we risk causing harm by missing what they truly need. And as I close, I want to also speak to the many young people who are in this room today. Thank you so much for taking the time. You guys are on March break, could have been doing anything else, but you chose to be here with us, so thank you. Yes, let's give them a round of applause for that. So, building strong communities is not only an adult responsibility, it's yours too. You have the power in the choices that you make, and the respect that you show others, and in how you lift people up. Leadership is not defined by age or by title or by experience. It's defined by how you show up for those around you. And I want to give us all a little reality check here. Somewhere in the school today, there is another Josh, another young, talented individual who might just not have the mentorship or guidance or support that they need. The question is, will we help them access the mentorship, knowledge, and support that they need to succeed before making those life-altering decisions? Or will they walk that path alone? Let us commit to ensuring that they're not alone. Let us commit to empowering youth with knowledge, surrounding them with guidance, and holding ourselves accountable for the communities that we are shaping together. And if you're ready to take on that challenge, I'm also going to get you guys to say something with me. If you're ready, I want us on the count of 3 to say, I'm ready, okay? 1, 2, 3. I'm ready. I love that energy. Thank you guys so much for your time here today. I think we also do have one more guest in attendance. I'll let Giovanni bring this up to the stage. Thank you guys so much and take care.
Thank you, Jasmine. Before we wrap up for the day, I do want to announce the winners for our silent auction. So for the gift basket, it will be Lisa. And for the Raptors jersey, it will be the Smiths. To coordinate your prizes, please meet with Trey and a vital staff member to just make sure that all that goes through. So when you get the chance, please make sure you do that. And now we are going to have one last speaker. Jennifer McKelvie was elected as a Member of Parliament for Ajax in spring 2025. Prior to joining the federal government, Jennifer was the Municipal Councillor for Scarborough Rouge Park and Deputy Mayor of Toronto. In the capacity, she served as an acting mayor of Toronto for 6 months in 2023. While on Toronto Council, Jennifer chaired the Infrastructure and Environment Committee and was a member of the Toronto Region Conservative Authority and a member of the Green Municipal Fund Council, supporting municipalities across Canada move across sustainable practices. In June, Prime Minister Carney appointed Jennifer as the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure. Jennifer looks forward to continuing to champion investment in affordable housing and green infrastructure in her new role. Before politics, Jennifer was an environmental geoscientist. She completed her bachelor and postdoctoral studies at the University of Toronto Scarborough and managed research partnerships at the Nuclear Waste Management Organization and the Canadian Institute for Advanced Research. Dr. McKelvie's peer-reviewed research has been widely cited and recognized by numerous national and international awards, including the NSERC Canada Graduate Scholarship and L'Oreal/UNESCO Women in Science Fellowship. Jennifer is proud to serve the people of Ajax and is committed to build a stronger community for everyone. Please join me in welcoming MP Jennifer McKelvie for opening remarks.
Well, thank you so very much for that kind introduction. I am so very happy to be here, and I will say though that I will make sure I never follow Jasmyne, because wow, that's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. And I'm just also to see how excited she was to see all the young people out here today. And I also echo that it is March break, and it's wonderful that you're dedicating your time to such a wonderful cause. Also want to recognize that I get the real honor of working with, firstly, amazing community members like all of you, but also municipal leaders here in Ajax. And so maybe I'll just give a welcome. They can stand up. We have Regional Councillor Marilyn Crawford here, Local Councillor Lisa Bauer, and Local Councillor Nancy Henry, which I'll notice that like all women, like pretty awesome. So we have a lot of really strong women here in Ajax, and I'm so happy to work with this amazing group. And Trustee Kelly is over here too. There we go. Another fantastic one. You know, it really would have put a damper if it was one of the men that were there after I made all those statements, right? All right. Well,